So as we've made multiple times aware to you guys, DC is definitely in a weird circus right now. DC Studios, after it got taken over by James Gunn and Peter Safran, they're definitely not in the most comfortable of places. They're trying to reorganize a bunch of things. They're trying to see what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. But at the end of the day, they really don't know what's going to stick and what's not going to stick. And they're going to try to throw some things against the wall and hope that it works. But apparently, one of the latest Hollywood actors, Zachary Levi, just recently came out and said that everybody needs to have patience and give James Gunn and Peter Safran a break, because if they don't give them a break, then they're never going to be able to do what they're going to do. I don't think that's necessarily true, because honestly, DC doesn't deserve a break. The reason why DC doesn't deserve a break is because for the last God knows how many years, they've been giving people such a convoluted cinematic universe experience that they really don't deserve a break to begin with, because they have shown that they don't have any idea what they're doing, and nobody has faith in the DC product cinematically anymore. So we're going to get into the article, guys. This one comes from some good old bounding into comics, and it says Shazam star Zachary Levi urges angry DC fans to have patience and effing give James Gunn and Peter Safran a break. Guys, just a quick note, YouTube just recently released some stupid freaking new rule about using curse words that now, unfortunately, if I'm going to have any sort of chance at growing the channel, I don't care about the monetization aspect, but if I have any sort of chance of growing the channel, I'm going to have to censor myself. So if you see me talking very strange, that's the reason why. I don't really mean censor myself. I mean censor the words that I use, but I'm basically going to be saying the same things. I'm just going to use the G-rated version for good old YouTube, who's apparently trying to be the thought police out here. So it says, not everyone is happy with the ascension of James Gunn and Shazam co-producer Peter Safran into leadership positions at the freshly christened DC Studios. Gunn's personal controversies aside, fans are more upset over losing Henry Cavill as Superman and potentially Ben Affleck as Batman. The departures come as an omen that the DCEU of Zack Snyder is very much dead. Honestly, I think people need to give up the whole Zack Snyder thing. I understand the love for Zack Snyder. Trust me, I understand the whole allure of his movies and his vision that he had for DC, but you gotta give it up. Zack Snyder is not going to be part of DC anymore for the foreseeable future. There's no reason to be talking about Zack Snyder's universe or anything like that. Cinematically, it's over. Give it a break already, okay? Like I said, I get it from a fan standpoint. I understand, but just stop already. You cannot constantly compare everything to Zack Snyder's universe. It's over. It's done with. Peter Safran and James Gunn are in charge, whether people like it or not, and you're either going to give their product a chance or you're not going to give their product a chance. Most people have already made up their mind from day one anyway, so it doesn't really matter. That's just the truth of it. Most people made up their mind. It says, despite a loud backlash, Gunn and Safran found one defender. The amount of conjecture and rumor mill and drama and nonsense that keeps getting spun around out there on Instagram and Twitter is laughable, said Zachary Levi in an Instagram live video. So I would just like to say, be patient and give them some space and some time to try and really make something special. The Shazam star is taking up for his bosses and defying the endless pot stirring online that Gunn addressed as personal attacks and tells everyone to give them a chance, as Zack Snyder had. And I think something that DC deserves to have, and something that Zack Snyder tried to do, and it just didn't ultimately materialize, guys. Levi continued. Well, like I said multiple times, I'm not going to even play this video because there's no point. It pretty much sums everything up. But as I said multiple times, DC does not deserve any sort of break. They don't, because DC has had such a wild experience on the cinematic scale that nobody trusts their product anymore. When people don't trust your product, you can't just come out and say, oh, give them a break, guys. Come on, give them a break. They gave you breaks multiple times. It's not like this is your first attempt at trying to make DCEU movies. This is probably your third attempt by now. Like, they gave you multiple tries. They gave you multiple different directors, multiple different vision heads. You had so many tries. So for someone to come out and say, come on, guys, give them a break, give them a break, they don't deserve a break, in my opinion. They don't. As much as you want to hope that they do a good job and bring good movies that people are going to love and enjoy, at the end of the day, I don't think it's fair to say that DC deserves a break. You might want to say James Gunn and Peter Safran deserve a break, but at the end of the day, they're representing DC, so DC does not deserve a break, in my opinion. It says Levi classifies the internet chatter as BS and defies the notion Cavill was disliked by Gunn, saying not just making decisions because they like someone or don't like someone, they're making decisions based on what is best for Warner Brothers DC, that entire studio and entity, and trying to make as many fans and as much of an audience happy as they can. Well, if that's true, then I really hope that's the case, because that's the only way you're going to be able to bring any sort of love back to DC cinematically. It's just true. It's not an easy position. They got handed all these things, and they were just already in a lot of conflict. So guys, just give them a break, he added. Levy implored viewers to take it easy, take a breath, and just go enjoy what the holidays are. Give them some time, and let's see what happens on the other side of this. I get the message here, and I can understand and appreciate the message, but he needs to see it from the standpoint of the fans who have been watching these movies for the last decade or so. They don't have any sort of DCEU that's noteworthy. They don't. Every time they get close, every time they have a hit, whatever the case may be, they mess it up and it ends up going into the gutter. And it's unfortunate because DC has more powerful names, in my opinion, or at least as many powerful names cinematically as Marvel. They could definitely pull it off to some extent, but unfortunately for them, they are trying to get into the game now where cape fatigue is definitely a thing, and people are starting to get fatigued on overall superhero movies, so their ability to be able to capture that kind of audience is probably less than it could have been if they just did it right the first time. It says the actor's remarks can be interpreted as effusive in an effort to save his own career with Warner Bros. DC, as though he is optimistic about his future and success. He is sure Shazam! Fury of the Gods will have. Levy's uncertain where he'll land after 2023. Listen, I have no idea what ultimately is going to happen to me, he said. I think I'm in a pretty good position. I think we made a great movie. I think it's going to do well. Reasonably well, I hope, Levy admitted as he continued. But again, regardless of that, if they decide at some point that this is the way we gotta go, them's the breaks, that's how it goes. So it definitely seems like he's bootlicking a little bit, but you know what? I get it. I understand he must really enjoy playing the role and doesn't want to, lose it. But I definitely think he's bootlicking slightly. But I think he's trying to portray a certain sentiment that I think he can definitely get across better, but he's just not really saying it from a point that a lot of fans are going to resonate with. Because when people are angry, they're less likely to be understanding, obviously. And he's trying to do this whole, you got to be understanding route. You already know fans are not going to be understanding. They're done being understanding. They already got screwed so many times. Why are they going to try to be understanding again? It says Shazam! Fury of the Gods. It's set for release on March 17th in the coming year after a long but seemingly calculated delay. Its spin-off starring Dwayne Johnson as a title anti-hero Black Adam underperformed and former Warner to reevaluate Johnson's place in the DCU. Maybe he comes back eventually, but he won't be part of Gunn's impending slate announcement. And that's it, guys. I mean, listen, like I said, DC is just a cluster of a whole bunch of different information that unfortunately is mostly false, and a lot of it is just a lot of rumors that are spinning around to try to get the hype train going. A lot of these YouTube channels are using that to try to get the hype train going, get the views going. I get it. So like I said, some of the information is true, some of it's false. You just got to sift through it and see what's true and what's not. But honestly, anything coming out from the DC spectrum that's not from James Gunn or Peter Safran, you could pretty much just guarantee it's a rumor and nothing more, and take it as such. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought of today's story, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.